Yeah, trendsetter, whoa, league of my own, it don't get better. No, read what I wrote, I'm a bestseller. Yeah, reach for my goals, hit it dead center, hit it dead center.
And we are back. If you're new to the channel, I'm working on a new business, a functional chewing gum for the US market. It's very early stage, so I'm documenting the whole journey, and at the same time, right now, I'm based in Latin America, Buenos Aires. So I also show you around what is it like to work as a digital entrepreneur based out of Latin America. It's very fun, by the way. I have 4 things going on in my life, more or less. Probably more, but let's focus on these 4. I have a contractor job with a startup that's based in San Francisco. I help them with the marketing. I have my own company that I'm working on, the functional chewing gum brand. I'm hoping to launch it early next year, early 2025. I have a lot of administrative stuff. I'm applying for the US visa, the O1 visa, to be able to work and live in the US. Plus, I'm also doing a citizenship application. Monday for me right now is about the administrative side of things. So today is Tuesday, and yesterday I spent with gathering all the evidence that I need for applying for the visa in the US, building up my case. I'm going to pass all that information to a lawyer who's going to help me with the whole application. I think I have a strong case because with my first business, I was on the Forbes list, Forbes 30 under 30 in Hungary. That's where I'm from. I also spent some time working on the contractor job. So today was actually a pretty easier day. I had the whole morning to just work on the chewing gum brand. And where we are at right now is last week I was able to work on the brand concept. So all the texts, all the key messaging, all the key statements are done. And now this week what I want to get done is work on the design, the logo, the brand imagery. It's hugely important in e-commerce to get the packaging right and to get the brand imagery right. And as a functional chewing gum brand, there are some competitors on the market already. Not so much, but there is some. And from what I've seen, they are all positioning themselves as a healthy product, as a healthy supplement. Now in my case, where I see a way to disrupt is to position the brand as a lifestyle product that is, by the way, has healthy benefits. And the way I'd like to approach it, I collected a bunch of brand packages, brand imageries that I like, and I'm going to talk with a bunch of designers this week, give them a little bit of a brief and tell them that, hey, everybody is positioning themselves this way. These packagings are good. Obviously, I'm looking for something that's modern, that's up to date, but let's be disruptive. Let's think about, all right, if this is a healthy lifestyle product, how about we design the packaging as if, you know, it was the supplement of Nike or Under Armour or Alo. I'm really looking for something that stands out, that is unique, and that captures the attention, because my goal is to reach a mass audience, not just people who want to optimize their health, but also people who want focus in their lives, entrepreneur, people who are doing a lot of sports, who are conscious about their health, their fitness. And I'm really passionate about building a brand that stands for a lot more than just health. I want this to be a mass market product. I want this to reach a lot of people. I want it to have a real impact and do it in a healthy, sustainable, and fun way. I think I reached out to 3 designers by now. Hopefully I will be able to set up calls with them, and we're gonna move the needle on this. So that's about the task for today and for the next couple of days. And maybe another thing I will do this week is spend some time talking about my first brand. It was a clothing brand that I built in Hungary. It allowed me to get on the Forbes 30 under 30 list in Hungary, and I exited that brand at the age of 28. Yeah, 28. Let's get down to work.
For the culture.
Out from the office and going to a dentist. I had a little issue with my teeth this morning. One of the fillings in my molars fell out, so that was unexpected. And basically I don't want there to be like any infection or any sort of problem, so I quickly booked an appointment at the dentist. It's in Recoleta, one of the districts in Buenos Aires. So just gonna go there and get my teeth fixed. It should be all right.
Real culture. For all my niggas. Yeah.
So survived, got back from the dentist. I still feel the desensitization here on this side of my mouth. It's a little weird, but they fixed it. It looks really good. And as the next step, I'm just gonna change clothes and go do some boxing.
Yeah, look. When the payback with a Maybach, I'ma lay back on the low. For the meantime, let me fuck once till I say I gotta go. Till I stay back till I ASAP, I don't play that with a hoe. She gon' hate that, she gon' say that I'm an asshole, but I know. Listen, nigga, you ain't really about the shit. I've been ballin' from the start, and now I'm really about to spit. Who you fucking with? About to kill.
Yo, good morning. It's Wednesday, and yesterday night, first of all, the filling that they put in at the dentist came out. So it came out twice in a day, but at least the desensitization went away right about the time when I arrived at home, so I could eat and, you know, be like a normal person. I did some light work, prepared for today, was reading a lot. And today, this morning, is going to be pretty crazy. I'm just gonna go on a call with a designer, explain him the whole project and get a quote, get also his ideas about how he would approach this, because obviously I put down a lot of ideas. I've done a lot of research of packages that I like, brands that I like in the supplement space. You know, I'm not a graphic designer, so I'm really curious to get his take. I'm gonna go and do 2 other meetings with different designers either this week or early next week. After the designer, I have my Spanish class, I have my golf session, I have to go back to the dentist because of the filling coming out. And then I need to get my criminal background check report apostilled in Argentina, which is like an international term for document legalization. But again, like I could just book the time and it was super easy. From what I see up to now, the administration in Argentina seems to be really efficient. So that's it for the morning, and then obviously I have a lot of meetings for my contractor job as well. And today we will see how much time I will have to work on the brand. But I found a YouTube content creator that's an FDA specialist, and he does a bunch of content around bringing supplement products to the market, the legal side of things, dealing with the manufacturers, and he has a course and he has a consultation. So I'm gonna subscribe for that because it seems super valid. And although like I've done a bunch of research and I have ideas of what I want to do, it's not like super systemized. And when you get a person that has 20 plus years of experience in the industry, has seen many brands being brought to the market, he has that systemized knowledge. So, and once you pay for the service, that means that you will probably pay attention for it. So I'm just gonna reach out first, get, you know, some personal insights, and then I'm going to subscribe for this because it's super useful. That's it for today. It's really this morning that's going to be crazy, so let's get down to work. Oh man, what a terribly long morning. I had to go to a lot of places, and getting my teeth fixed for the 2nd day in a row. This time they gave me triple injections. The process was just a lot longer and a little more painful as well. And then from there I had to go at the apostille, and it was just a bunch of running around and everything. So, you know, the golf was great, but you know, when you have to make all these different appointments, I was a little late from the apostille, but it turns out that in Latin America that's not really an issue, and I still managed to get it done quick while I was in the office. So, you know, a bunch of different things happening, and maybe I got too comfortable with just working from home and not much happening, but there are days when I try to squeeze in a lot of things. And today was like that. So when I got back from the dentist and my face was still numb, I had to jump on a call first with the Google team who are helping us managing the ads for the contractor job. And then I had a call with my team that's in San Francisco. So just a bunch of different things happening. And the day is hard from over. I still have 1 or 2 meetings and a lot of work to get done for my contractor job. So I'm just gonna go and do it. There are some days that are easier, some days where I can just work on my own projects, and there are some days where you have to get a lot of things done. It's part of life. Beautiful October spring day in Buenos Aires. My sense of time is completely lost. 2-3 months ago it was winter. Now it's getting close to summer and October. Yeah, that's an unusual thing for a European. But anyways, when I woke up this morning, I had some quotes from suppliers for their gum productions. So just done some initial calculations. There's a lot of other things that need to be done, and this is one supplier from Europe, so I'm still expecting quotes from other suppliers, one in the US. So when I have all the data, that's when I'm gonna be able to do that big calculation and probably make a decision, because you know, the European supplier, this supplier doesn't have an in-house packaging, so I need to calculate with delivering the packages to a different supplier that does the packaging itself. And with all these things adding up, it's complex. And I also have to calculate in the price. There's gonna be mistakes that we're going to make because we're doing this for the first time. Anyways, exciting times, and I thought that now that I have a little time, I'm gonna talk about the story of my first business. Basically kickstarted my entrepreneurial journey. I was 24 when I launched it. Before that, I was in London. I lived for the most part of my life. I lived in Hungary. And I went to UCL, University College London, to university for 3 years, and I started working at a corporate there, which I hated from the first month. It was a terrible experience. It was a terrible corporate as well, but really I didn't feel like I'm being challenged. I got more and more drawn into the entrepreneurial concept. I started working in October, and by January, February, I was pretty much committed to my first business, which was a clothing brand. When I partnered with a designer, he prepared the first collection. We partnered up in February, and he got prepared the first collection by May. When he said he's ready, I quit my job and moved back to Hungary. Did a shooting for the first collection, built a website, all these things, and launched the brand. It was 29th of May 2019, so five and a half years ago. I had pretty solid tactics to get the brand up and running. By the time we launched the first collection, we already had the Instagram page ready and already had put a lot of content out there. So we had about 8,000 people following us, which is not super big numbers, but it was still enough to generate social proof for the brand that helped us to kickstart a big PR campaign and say like, hey, there's this brand new concept. A lot of magazines did articles about us. Basically, the innovation or the uniqueness of the brand was that all our designs were inspired by Hungarian art and literature. In the first collection, it was only literature. The Hungarian literature or literature in Hungary is really part of the culture. It's something that everybody learns about, knows, appreciates. And the concept was that we would build a brand that gets inspired by this, but puts it out in a very unique, modern, and dynamic way that can be appreciated more by the younger generations. It's like, putting Kurt Cobain or here in Argentina, Maradona or Messi on a t-shirt in a design that's actually cool, not just, the face of some person. We got a really good traction for this first collection. It was launched at the end of May, and in August we featured in many magazines. I think that August month was stronger in terms of revenue than average that we had in our first full year. We did about, at the time, maybe 8-10K in the third or fourth month. I think that was a strong start, but I didn't know anything. Like I didn't even have an Excel sheet where I could put out like, yo, this is our revenue, this is our expenses, so this is the actual money that we generate. I didn't have anything like that. And even our supplier, the first guy that was doing the t-shirts for us and the printing, was a solopreneur guy who didn't have any systems in place. So when we started, the way the relationship was built, went back from London while still working to find suppliers. And this guy, I reached out to him during the week, and he said, oh yeah, I'm gonna do it, come around on Saturday. So I did. He showed me the machine and everything, and obviously we get along really well. And I appreciate, like, hey, this guy is doing the printing for me on a Saturday, how cool. Well, he did it because he's a solopreneur and he doesn't have any systems in place, so he doesn't say to his clients like, yo, I'm not gonna work on Saturday. It was super helpful, obviously, and we started out well, but after month 3 it was obvious that this is not gonna work out on the long term, because I can't really rely on if he's going to be able to ship my products on this day or a week later. It was very on and off. So that was a good learning point, relying on the systems. It was also a good learning point to build out the funnels, build out the brand before the launch, build a community that you are bringing the product out for onto the market, and not develop a product and try selling it to people. Rather, warm up an audience, warm up a community. So I think those things we've done right over the years. The brand did enjoy more and more traction. By the time I exited last year, the brand had about 150,000, a little bit more than that, followers on Instagram. We've done collaborations with major Hungarian artists, designers, cultural figures, internationally known brands such as Pepsi. We had the largest community of art lovers, while at the same time we had the streetwear brand aspect. That was cool, it was a great story, and this whole project got me onto the Forbes 30 under 30 list, but there was a point where I felt like, all right, now I achieved what I set out to achieve with this project. So at this stage, it's really me serving the project and not the project serving me. Because first of all, the Hungarian market, the disposable income of the local people is not great. And when the whole inflation from the Ukrainian war came into play, it was harder and harder to manage, or let alone scale the brand. So that made things a little difficult. And at the same time, I felt like this brand concept with the Hungarian art is never going to be able to be scalable on an international level. The best thing that I could do is look for a bigger challenge, because I wanted a bigger challenge from the get-go. And it was last year, 2023, February, when I did a meeting with a guy that's involved in M&As, mergers and acquisitions, buying companies. He built a super big holding company in Hungary. He was just still so hungry. He built like 60 million euros annual turnover company in the space of 5-6 years, and he was still extremely hungry, extremely demanding of himself, and he was so much ahead of me in the game. And he told me like, yo, you have to let this go like immediately. So that really stick with me. He became my mentor. He was helping me with other sort of business things, while at the same time I made the decision, okay, I'm gonna quit, I'm gonna exit. Summertime, we got a few people interested, and by the end of summer I agreed with the largest Hungarian streetwear company that they would buy me out. We signed a contract in October, and my wedding period ended at the end of December last year. The brand, I was building it all together for 4.5 years. I think at the peak we did about $280,000-$300,000 in a year, which is not much in US terms. And don't get me wrong, I don't think that I'm the super accomplished millionaire guy. I'm just a guy that figuring things out, and who has the ambition, and who has built a project and sold it. And even though the financials are not in the millions, it still does give me a good reputation, a good self-confidence, and a good starting point to reach out to people and have them listen to me. And that was basically my initial concept. And maybe I made the mistake of not setting my goals high enough, but I've learned enough from the project to know that what I want to get out from the next one. I'm still super grateful for the journey. I think one aspect of building a clothing brand is you have to realize clothing is not something that people need. And it's not something that people would want at a time when the economy is bad. It's really difficult to manage in comparison with other things that are, appealing to other aspects of human needs and human wants. It's really like a nice to have product. And what's even worse than that is in clothing, or in fashion, in streetwear, you have to bring out new collections continuously to keep up the excitement. There are two things that make people want to buy your product, is when it's new, when it's limited, or when it's on sale. And in clothing, you have to bring out a lot of new collections to keep up the excitement, and then you have to sell those products at a discounted price. So all these things need to be factored in. It's not like you have one product, you have software, or you have, let's say, Red Bull, and you're selling this singular product to people, and you're just focused on building the brand. No, it's much more difficult than that. I've done a lot of great learnings from this first project, and I'm super grateful for that. And I hope that everything that I shared from this story is also valuable for you. I do think that whatever your idea is and you believe in that idea and you're passionate about that idea, you should bring it to life, because at the end of the day, entrepreneurship is about learning, getting skills, making a living for yourself, for your family, becoming a better version of yourself, and bringing an idea to life. And I think, you know, whether you're trying to sell phone cases or like helping people get better chairs or tables, whatever it is, either it's a service, it's a product, if you can do it, if you can bring it to the market, if you can generate revenue, and if you can learn from it and, you know, take things to the next level, and you have the ambition and the drive to go further and further and further, you will get there. It doesn't really matter how you start. Like, you know, Richard Branson was doing a school magazine, and some other billionaire guys were importing apples from Germany and then sell it in Romania or whatever. So whatever your vision is, just get started and you will learn a lot. I'm equipped with a lot of knowledge that I can bring to this next chewing gum project. And what I really like about that is that while building a clothing brand that was so focused on culture and art, it was always meant to be a niche product. But with the chewing gum, I'm really going to try to position it as a lifestyle product that has the sport aspect. And, you know, if you do the marketing right, that can really, really reach a lot of people. Plus, it's a market, if you're talking about the US, it's a market that is, people have disposable income, people like to spend money, and the infrastructure, the capital opportunities are a lot bigger. So I'm very excited about that. The key mindset that I have for any sort of project is try to take the most out of it in terms of learning, in terms of becoming a better version of yourself. So if you can aim for the biggest possible thing, do it. It's never going to break you. If you have the ability to solve problems, which is the fundamental concept of doing entrepreneurship, then nothing's going to break you. It's going to be hard, it's going to be difficult, painful, there's going to be mistakes, there's going to be challenges that you'll have to reach out to people and you'll have to, I don't know, work extreme hours, but you will probably get through that. That's my message for you today. And if you have any sort of questions on this first project, drop it in the comments. Yeah, the week is not over yet, so let's get down to work. Good morning. It's Friday, and what better way to start the morning than ironing your shirts, because you are going to the golf course. I will go with an Argentinian guy that I got to know from the diving range. We go to San Martin golf course, 18 holes. So, you know, I don't want to go in my oversized shirt. I want to go in one of my polo shirts. Very excited, very, very hyped. It's the first time that I go to a golf course in like 2 years. Done a lot of practicing, obviously. So, yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens. Guys, being back on the golf course after such a long time, you know, being out in the diving range is one experience, but out there on the golf course is a completely different thing. You only have one shot to do it right, and my first shot was probably the worst that I've ever taken, but then I gradually got better and better. I had some really good shots, I had a lot of terrible ones, but it just felt good to be out in nature, play real golf, talk with the guy that I was with. Yeah, super grateful. I think the sun has taken a lot out of me. The weather is just beautiful, and walking around for a few hours. Anyways, there's a lot of things that I want to get done for my contractor job. I'm just gonna hop on a meeting with them, and then I think for the rest of today I will probably work for them, and the weekend is just for me, just for the chewing gum brand. There's a lot of things that I want to figure out in terms of the next moves. Obviously, I received some offers this week, some for production, graphic design, packaging, and I want to put everything together and, you know, do some calculations, figure out really what are the things that we need to get done over the next 1 or 2 weeks, because there's a lot of moving parts that are happening at the same time, and you know, we can't really like do anything with the packaging until the design is done. We can't really work on the designs until the ingredient stuff is done. Maybe the ingredients we have to change based on the offer that we receive for the production. A lot of things moving at the same time. It really requires some careful decision making and thoughtfulness, and for that to happen, I need the peacefulness that's coming for me on the weekend. Today, it's work time. Let's get down to work. And there we go, it's Sunday afternoon. I had the whole weekend, well, most of it, to work on my project and organize my life. It was good, it was very productive. I feel like I have some more clarity on what to work on for the next few weeks. So that was great. I don't want to take this very long because the video is probably already very long. I took a lot of the time from this weekend to catch up with friends, mostly from Hungary, but also from other parts of the world. And with my really closest buddy that lives in San Francisco and works at Apple, and who's been a huge inspiration for me. He told me he's kind of feels like he's stuck in wherever he is at. He's looking for, what should be his next step. And I'll just tell you what I told him as well. Like for me, when I made that change of exiting my business and getting to the point where now I know what my next project is, in between that, I had to talk to a lot of people. I had to go out into places that I've never been to. I've changed my environment completely. And because of all these changes, all these new inspirations, talking to a lot of people in different parts of the world, I was able to get a lot of data, do my analysis, and realize what I want to do. Without the inspiration part, without getting inspired, there's very little chance that you will find a project that is groundbreaking for you unless you already have that project going on. If you want to change, you have to make that change. Like change your environment, change your circles, change the place where you live. Because if you're working at a job, whether that's a 9-to-5 or a startup or whatever, you probably have your own routine, the way you're doing things, the circles that you hang out with. And if you change that, you can do this slowly, like, go to more events, or you can do this quickly, cut off everything and go to a different place. I think both of them work well, but you do need that change to get inspired. That's my closing remarks. I will see you next week.